Gwen Stacy is trans, and if you think otherwise, you are a alt-right bigot that needs to get the fuck out of here, because Twitter has solved the mystery. Despite Gwen Stacy's backstory and her gender being revealed many years ago, they're assuming that she is transgender at this time because they have a plethora of evidence, at least according to thepinknews.com. It's weird. This Gwen Stacy situation has been trending since Across the Spider-Verse has come out, and all week thus far, Gwen Stacy has been trending, and it's almost like all these weirdos want her to be trans, even though she's obviously not. And it all stems from a while back, a Protect Trans Kids flag was in the background of Gwen Stacy's room in the trailer. And I made a video about it, and I got called a bigot and all this stuff because I had an opinion that any of these LGBTQ trans narratives do not need to be pushed and forced upon children. And it's a divisive subject, so to speak. A lot of people, ooh, you worry too much. It's the background. No, motherfuckers. Look, if Cammy's classic outfit, thong leotard, is too much for you, then hey, that's too much for me. I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Rules for thee, but not for me, right? Only when it sexualizes children is it allowed. If it's something straight, like a woman that looks good, like a Bud Light ad or a Miller Lite ad, we can't have that. It has to be trans in order to approve it, is basically what society's saying today, and it's getting tiring. And then on top of that, they're always wanting to make characters that have established lore and everything suddenly bi or trans or whatever, just to have this checkbox. Like you have to have a label on a character to feel relatable to them. That's not good. A character should be relatable through merit, morals, examples that they lead, interesting personality, good story writing. Nowadays, it's like what makes a character good is that they are gay, bi, trans, or anything like that. Like everything but what makes a good personality. You have to have some kind of identity politics on top of it. And Across the Spider-Verse has identity politics that are trying to be shoved into it, despite it being otherwise. Now, let's take a look at this article, because it is something else. It is definitely something else. Here's the evidence, and this was written by Amelia Hansford. I bet you I know who she voted for last election. So this says the animated sequel to 2018's Oscar-winning Spider-Verse was released Friday, and fans who have seen the movie are now theorizing that Gwen is trans, or at least an allegory for the trans experience, due to a number of queer-coded and queer-colored clues. Queer-coded. Okay, that's a new term I haven't heard before, but let's go ahead and continue reading this article. This says it comes after Spider-Verse fans notice a trans pride flag bearing the words "Protect Trans Kids" in the background. And I did make a video of this right here. This was a screenshot from the trailer. You see over her door, "Protect Trans Kids." And I gave my opinion on this. I felt that forcing this in, again, is another example of shoved in identity politics that's like, ugh. Oh, Eric, you don't care about trans rights then, and, children and all this, blah, blah. No. They are doing this to shove these issues, this weird train of thought towards children and wanting to promote child body mutilation and all that. And I don't care if you're going to come angry at me in the comments and blah, blah, blah. That didn't need to be there. That was a choice for it to be there for a fucking reason. And the same people that want to promote that flag are the same assholes that don't want Cammy to have their classic outfit in Street Fighter 6 because it's too sexual. It's too sexualized. Because it's straight. That's why. Because heterosexuals like it. That's why they don't like it. Now, continuing on with this article, this says, watching it adds some vital new context. They are arguing that her characterization, animation, and story arc mirror the societal and internal struggles that trans people face on a daily basis. So they're trying to get artsy-fartsy with this, and I get it. All artistic creations are open to interpretation and stuff, but it's funny the lengths that LGBTQ Twitter go to demand that no matter what, if you don't agree with this whole theory, then you're basically a bigot and you get fucked, because this is fact. So they're claiming the color palette for Gwen Stacy represents all the colors of the trans flag: the pastel blue, pink, white, even like the purple, things like that, that this trans flag follows a theme that Gwen Stacy is going through in the movie. You can see right here, they're saying the environment around her are practically drenched in the trans pride colors. And that she's a metaphor for coming out. That, in fact, her forcing herself to hide her identity as Spider-Gwen represents coming out when she finally tells her father that she's Spider-Gwen, that it's a metaphor for coming out to your parents as trans. Like, they just had to connect it because, again, people that play identity politics, they can't survive life without feeling like they have to have a label attached to them. They can't be their own individual, their own person, they can't come out. They have to only have some kind of relation and importance to life by what their orientation and their gender is. That's exactly what it is. And you know what? If you're gay, good. If you're bi, good. If you're trans, good. But do not shove all that nonsense on the people. And if they're like not bowing down to your every whim and not buying into your agenda, don't hate on them, because I don't hate on anybody. I hate on the narrative that's forced on the people. Oh, Eric, you're always saying everything is this and that. No, it's fucking disastrous of a train of thought to live in this bubble where you think everything has to play with identity politics. And it's fucking tiresome on everybody else. So you can see, here's an example of somebody. Trans and even cis fans have every right to say Gwen Stacy's trans. Even if the movies never outright confirm it, you can't deny that it's been hinted at. The fact is, if she can make somebody feel represented, who are you to tell them they're wrong? Well, who are you to tell people that they're wrong when they say Gwen Stacy's not transgender? That's the problem, is that it's always a weird battle. Like, it always has to be so hostile and so like violent. You know, the people that claim to be tolerant are the least tolerant. And people are actually saying this is similar to when Mark Hamill told Star Wars fans that if Luke is gay to them, then Luke is gay if you think he's gay. So if you think Gwen Stacy's trans, of course she's trans. Anything you want is real and no one should make you feel shamed. Who the fuck is shaming people to feel like this? Like, why does everything have to be a pull-tug battle when it comes to comics, movies, TVs? That's what people are sick of. That's what people are tired of when it comes to everything artistic. Like, it has to have something attached to it with this wokies. They have to have identity politics on it, whether it's race-related, orientation related, gender related, whatever you want to have it, you have to try to shove some kind of representation in it. Oh, there's nothing wrong with diversity. Okay, but have some good story writing on top of it, and don't be a fucking weirdo trying to make something for children into something that's for transgender. No offense, again, to my trans friends out there, but these people on Twitter are fucking weird. They don't want people assuming their genders, but they'll assume a fictional character's gender, even though, again, Gwen Stacy had been established a long time ago as a cis female. It's like gender identity is not integral to the plot of Across the Spider-Verse anyway, so why are they making such a big deal to where it's trending? Just because someone struggles with their life and struggles with their secret identity and stuff, you have to try to tie it into identity politics and being gay. I have no clue. To me, it's just weird, and I guess chalk it up to me being a bigot. I guess I don't fucking know, don't care, but whatever.